Alright. Do you want to intro this one?
Hello.
Awesome. Good job. You're great at this.
I know.
Alright, well, first things first, I suppose. Wow, I have a thing. Okay, so first things first. I recently watched Thunderbolts. Very good. And I can firmly say is probably my favorite MCU movie. Followed very closely by Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It's very good, and I recommend it to anyone and everyone. Very good movie. Even though I was, like, pausing while watching it, it did have my attention for the most part, and I liked it. It was good. Solid 10 out of 10. I don't really have any complaints about it, other than I wish I'd watched it in theaters. I watched it in digital. Wish I watched it in theaters, because it was very good. Alright. The main meat and potatoes, if you will, of today's episode.
Is meat and
Or
potatoes?
this week's episode.
Who was serving that out?
The universe.
Ah, I see you.
Proverbial meat and or potatoes. So the main thing for this week's episode is me and you. We both play One's Justice 2, My Hero Academia One's Justice 2, and they are coming out with a new game some point this year called All's Justice, and they put out a trailer, and what we've decided to do is predict the roster for the game based on the base amount of characters on the roster of One's Justice 2, which is 39 character slots, not including DLC and the 2 you unlock through the story mode. And I went through the trailer, and I put down everyone that's already been confirmed via the trailer, which leaves us with slots 26 through 39, which is about 13 slots. So to review, if you haven't seen the trailer or you don't even know what we're talking about, the characters confirmed so far through the trailer are, of course, Shigaraki and Midoriya, Bakugo, Shoto, Ida, Asui, Uraraka, Toga, Mineta, everyone from 1A, essentially. Kirishima, Tokoyami, Kaminari, Aoyorozu, Aoyama, Jiro, Sero, Agakure, Ojiro, Sato, Kota, Shoji, Ashido. And then these three are on the cover, so I assume they're going to be playable. Dabi, All For One, and the mech suit version of Toshinori, who is All Might. So we have...
For those of you who aren't
26
autistic,
Yeah, for those of you who are neurodivergent.
for those of you who are not on the spectrum,
Yeah, we have slots 26 to 39 to work with. I'm immediately putting out Best Genist.
Battle Royale.
Because he was fairly important in the seasons that this game is adapting with its story mode.
Hightail it out of there.
If you agree, we will put him in slot 26.
he's pretty chill.
Alright. Best Genist is added. Alright. Who is your official first prediction because mine was best jeanist.
Alright, I have a really
We're gonna go
not.
back and forth with these.
I've got a selection that isn't really like. It's obvious. He's gonna be in the game.
I'm assuming you're speaking of Endeavor.
Mr. Burning Man himself.
Yeah. Alright, I can agree with that. I can concur with Endeavor. And kind of through the same train of thought there, I'm going to throw Hawks in as a base roster this time, because he was DLC in One's Justice 2. And I feel like it's time for him to make a base roster appearance, especially in this game with these seasons they're adapting.
Eliminate all targets in the
The
AR.
story. It's kind of when he started gaining more relevance and importance, were those last
Enemy
like
soldier
3
incoming.
seasons or so, last 3 or 4 seasons. So I will throw Hawks in there.
Let
So
me
who
think.
is your second?
I would say another really easy pick is All Might.
Well, he's already on here. Remember, he is like he's kind of confirmed already. It's not gonna be like All Might, but it's gonna be like Power Suit All Might.
No, I'm talking All Might, All Might.
Oh, why would they have 2 All Mights though?
I don't know why
Is
did One's
my-
Justice 2 have 3 Midoriyas?
You know what? That's a fair point. I'll add that as your prediction because I don't necessarily agree with that. Because it just seems kind of like a pointless addition if they do that. And I'm gonna sneak in there to slot 29 and put my prediction in for my GOAT, Edge Shot.
You say Shaq?
No, Edge Shot.
Oh. You know, my favorite My Hero Academia character,
Yeah,
Shaq.
Edge Shaq. Shaquille O'Neal.
The Mr. O'Neal.
That'd be the day. That'd be
Losing
hilarious
ground,
if
move it.
Shaquille O'Neal popped up randomly in a My Hero Academia game.
Mr. O'Neal. Beat
Do you
Shigaraki.
think he would? Do you think he would just be himself, or do you think they'd have him like voicing somebody? I feel like it could
Yo,
be
Rick
either
Booth.
one, honestly.
Oh,
Him
no,
voicing
they were ready for
Tokoyami
that.
would be peak.
Shaquille O'Neal is Tokoyami.
Yeah, that'd be peak.
Are we gonna add that to the list?
No. That's not part of it. I mean, if you want, I can go back up to Tokoyami
not
and add
making
in
that. No,
parentheses voiced by Shaquille
We are
O'Neal.
not doing that.
I'm just saying that we have the tools at our disposal to do so.
We are actively not going to make Tokoyami voiced by Shaquille O'Neal.
It'd be hilarious, though.
It would be funny. However, no.
I don't think they're gonna do that. Yeah, however,
You wouldn't do that.
no. Okay, so who's your casted vote for spot 30? 30. 30. 30 on 30. 30. 30.
30.
Yeah. Who are you casting as your slot 30 vote? Because to be clear with this, if one of us doesn't agree with the other one, they can add their
They
own.
can be killed.
There, and then there can be 2 predictions, one for each of us on that one slot.
Did you not even hear what I just said?
No, I did.
Their life will end.
Okay, so see, that's not part of the rule book, so...
I'm just imagining you. I say whoever disagrees with me will die, and you pull out a little pamphlet saying, "No, I don't think
Yeah,
so."
that's actually not in the pamphlet.
I
Okay,
think
so
you
you're...
might be wrong. My rule book
no,
here
yours-
says that that's
well,
not,
Yeah,
you know.
okay, so that's actually not in the Rolodex. Uh, God, if I buy a Rolodex, that'd be hilarious. Just for a bit on
The
one of our
Rolodex.
episodes.
Alright.
The Rolodex. All right, who's your next? Who's your pick for slot 30 here? Slot Piccolo. And no,
I
we're
don't
not
know
putting Piccolo on this
I
list.
do not know if Piccolo counts as number 3.
30. We're on slot 30. We have 9 slots. Actually, yeah, no, 9 slots, I think. So who's your casted vote for slot 30? Who's your casted prediction for this wacky, wonderful cast of characters here? This is why this is gonna take an hour. You take so long to think.
Because it's really something to think on.
Think, Mark, think. Everyone you know will die.
You don't know the lyrics
What will you
of
have
the speech.
after 500 years? You're correct, I don't know. And I don't particularly care to know. Okay, well, think. Who was, like, even mildly important during the seasons they're adapting?
Loadout drop headed your way.
You made your prediction for Edge Shot.
Enemy dropping into
I
the
did.
AO. You've got gas inbound. Safe zone relocated.
To clarify, I used my first prediction on Best Genist, which you agreed upon. You used your first one for Endeavor, which I agreed. And then I used my second for Hawks, which you agreed. And then for your second, you said All Might, and I countered with Edge Shot. Because I don't necessarily agree with All Might being his own separate being here. So those are both on slot 29 as our separate predictions.
Um,
And then everyone beforehand is all for one mech suit, Toshinori, Dabi, Toga, Shigaraki, and the entirety of 1A.
This is really hard.
I have a shot in the dark prediction.
Let me go first, because I think I have someone in
I
mind.
know. I didn't want to, like, ruin your train of thought or anything.
Gas is inbound.
I
So,
feel that... I have a feeling that...
inside your bones.
Okay. I was thinking
Okay, what's your feeling?
maybe Spinner,
Ooh,
because he did get, you
kind
know,
of a good prediction.
and he had his own little thing at the end.
That's true. I agree with Spinner. So I'm gonna go ahead and put him in slot 30. Spot 31, Shot in the Dark, Lady Nagant.
That's a really big shot in the dark.
At the
Yeah.
very least, she's gonna appear in the story mode at some point.
Yeah, and that also means that Gentle has to be there too.
That's
'Cause-
true, but keep in
'cause he
mind he
did-
was DLC. Yeah, he was DLC in the last one.
But but think about it. The base game was made before Gentle Criminal was even a character.
That's true. Yeah. So I guess we'll throw Gentle Criminal in slot 30.
We'll challenge Gentle Criminal and Nagant just 'cause, you know, why not?
Oh, okay. So we'll put them under the same slot then.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay,
Time for a
so
fight.
that means it is now my
Get
turn
ready.
to guess
You're
again.
next.
And I'm gonna throw Star and Stripe in there
That's a pretty good guess.
because I feel like that's a solid one.
Earn redeployment or die trying.
The only thing that I could see going wrong with that is
Is her how she would play.
that and the fact that we saw like an inch. Yeah.
Prepare for redeployment.
Yeah. I still think it's a solid guess because her fight with Shigaraki was very important.
Yeah, because it allowed us to delay. You know.
Yeah. That means it is now your guess, my good man.
I have a feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on.
When you turn it on. Yep.
My feeling is, hear me out.
Mhm.
I'm stalling for time because I don't know.
Real. Oh, okay, there's two
They
people
hit
there.
us hard that time. Dust yourself off, regroup, and get back out there.
Yeah.
Trust me, I'm thinking. It's just taking a lot out of me.
I can tell.
I don't think often, that's the thing. I am going to throw... Hear me out. Because I do actually have bonus time.
Buddy, I've been hearing you out.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I feel that
Gas
we are
moving.
going to have another case of Shigaraki before and after, if you don't already have them on there.
I do not.
Okay, yeah, I already feel like there's gonna be a Shigaraki before and after.
Okay, so should I throw that on the second Shigaraki?
Yeah. And while you get your next prediction, I need to take a piss. I will return in like 30 seconds.
Okay. Wonderful. I actually have to think now. This isn't good. I don't think Azar is gonna show up again because we have Cyril.
Switching mags.
Neither is Shinzo because, again, too similar to Cyril. I don't know. I'm confused. I don't know who to pick here.
Play cut around.
Genuinely no idea. Shit. I don't know. I can't think of anyone.
Really?
I can't. We have
Reloading.
6 slots left. Or sorry, we have... Yeah, no, we have 6 left, and I can't think of anyone. I was thinking maybe Aizawa, but he'd probably play too similar to Sero. And along that same line, that means no Shinso either. We might get Monoma. Maybe. Because we got Kendo and Tetsu in One's Justice 2. Which makes me feel like they're gonna put Monoma in at some point. Plus he's in Ultra Rumble. So I feel like there's a decent enough amount of arrows to point to Monoma as a playable character. So I'll throw him in there. Okay. You are next.
Switching mags.
Where was all this missing his bullets when this guy was shooting at me earlier? Just throw someone out there.
Well, I'm trying to think of someone is the thing.
How relevant was Mount Lady at this point? I
Pretty
feel like
relevant.
she wasn't. Oh, well, I mean, do we want to throw her in there?
I don't think so, because as a fighter, I don't think she'd play well.
Yeah, no, as a fighter, I don't think she would play very well. I mean, she plays alright in Ultra Rumble. Which is the main reason why I even thought about her. Is because she's in Ultra Rumble.
Yeah, but the difference between Ultra Rumble and One's Justice is that there's a much bigger map.
Yeah, it's much bigger. Yeah, I could see them not putting that lady in there. Yeah, I don't know. This is still your prediction.
My ballpark.
We gotta throw some villains in there, right? Like, we have 2 Shigarakis, Gentle Criminal, All for One, Dabi, and Toga. Because I believe at this point Twice was dead already.
Yeah, but I feel like Twice will still be playable.
I don't know, because he was base roster in 2 and 1. And I don't feel like they're gonna put him in a 3rd time. Plus, I feel like if he was in there, they would have showed him in the trailer with Toga. But they showed Toga turning into Twice. Which is why I didn't put him on there already. Because Toga turning into Twice would... Well, I guess that would imply that Twice might be there. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Well, you know what? Below that, I'll add Twice with a question mark. Below slot 39. So that way he's not taking up any actual
Enemies are
space.
dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
Oh shit.
I do feel like we need a few more
Playtime's
villains.
over. Stand by for deployment to the
Yeah.
war zone.
Here's the question. You know what? No, I'll save it. I'll save it for my turn. Because I have a very good question to pose. Oh yeah, right. We have Spinner here too. Because I forgot to mention him earlier. He's that forgettable.
Battle Royale.
Sorry, Spinner. But hey, that means no stain.
You've got gas closing in fast. Double time it to the safe
I
zone.
don't think they're gonna put him in there again.
Enemy soldier incoming.
You don't think?
I don't feel like he was relevant enough at that point in time. Plus, back-to-back games with essentially the same roster with little to no change would be kind of boring. The only way I see them adding Stain back is if they make him DLC. Which is kind of the same way I feel about Hawks. Or not Hawks, Twice.
Why can I not think of anybody?
I thought of one, but it's a reach.
You
So
say
if- I mean, if
muscular,
you
I'm
wanna-
gonna
if
beat
you-
your ass.
If you want to forfeit yours to my turn, then that could work. But unless you can think of one.
I feel like Mirko's gonna be in the game.
Okay, that's a solid one, and I don't know why it took you that long to think of fucking Mirko.
That's because I'm also playing Balatro, and my brain is in the middle of chips and guessing characters.
Okay, well, I can do that and play COD at the same time.
No.
So,
You're clear to
actively
engage
doing
all
that.
hostiles.
Okay, the question I have to pose is Moonfish, right?
Hell no.
How would he play?
He
And
wouldn't
was he
play.
even remotely relevant enough? for
Motherfucker would
this?
not play.
It's such a far reach that I don't feel like it's possible. But it'd be really cool if it was possible. I feel like that would be cool. Plus, he has he has gear pieces that you can equip in One's Justice 2, which I feel like is evidence we can look at.
But that doesn't make him, like, an option.
That is correct. It does not. It doesn't
Kota had a
confirm
hat.
him
Does
as
that
an
mean a
option.
Kota's gonna be playable?
No. But we can, I mean, Cero's there. Yeah, Cero's there. Who the fuck else has gear? Cero, Ojiro. Aoyama was DLC. I think no, never mind. Everyone else was base roster in the other one. Okay, yeah, never mind. My case is kind of weak, but Cero had gear pieces and Ojiro had gear pieces, and they are in the next one.
You've got gas moving in.
Which is again why I feel like Edge Shot is gonna be in there, especially since he has a bunch of gear pieces. Which, if I'm using that logic, that means Snipe as well.
But that
He
doesn't
wasn't
make
in
sense.
the first one or the second one, and it doesn't make sense for him to be there in this one because he wasn't very relevant ever. So I'm gonna throw out Vlad King.
Why? Why?
I don't know. I feel like it's a shot in the dark, like Lady Nagant, but it's less of a shot in the dark, I feel like. If that makes sense. So do we agree on Vlad King?
No.
Because I'm locking that in. Well, I'm locking that in as mine. as
What?
mine. I don't know.
What
Well,
have
which
we
seasons
ever
are they
seen
adapting?
his quirk?
Yeah. During the training camp attack, he was there with the 1B students,
What
and
was-
he was fighting the Dobby clone.
No. No. No.
Okay, alright, I'm not... Okay, no Vlad King, no Snipe.
Objectively wrong. The Lad King will not be in that game.
If he is, I'm gonna laugh so hard at you. You know what? I'm sticking to my guns. I'm keeping Vlad King as my official guess for slot 36.
How many drugs did
who-
you take?
Who are you throwing in to counter that, Mr. Wise One?
I don't understand you. I'm not wise, but at least I know Vlad King isn't an option.
I don't know. I feel good about it for some reason. Even though I probably shouldn't.
Yeah, I don't know I don't know what drugs you took.
Okay, well, either way, that is my official guess for that slot.
All right.
So who's your counter then to my Black King, guys?
I don't know if I can come up with a counter just because that was such a shit option.
I'm gonna laugh if he's actually playable when this game comes out. Because I feel like at the very least he might be DLC. Because I don't think we're getting another game after All's Justice.
If you can
And
tell
Black
me,
King wasn't in the first or second one.
if you can tell me anything notable he did in combat without looking it up, I'll take it all back.
He took out the Dobby clone.
That was Aizawa.
No. He took out a Dobby clone.
That was Aizawa.
Vlad King also took out a Dobby clone. He slammed it into the wall and stuck it there with his blood thing.
Yeah, but I said notable.
That was semi-notable.
I'm going to ask everyone out there, do you remember when Vlad King slammed a Dobby clone into the wall?
I only remember that because I was looking through clips of Dobby earlier. And that's literally one of the things I remember happening.
You've got a loadout drop
fuck
inbound.
Doesn't matter. Okay.
Changing mags.
Either way, what's your fucking
Gas is
counter
closing in.
to Vlad King?
Relocating safe zone.
What's your counter guess? What would you rather put in that slot?
What I would rather put in over Vlad King would be Shinso.
Okay.
Incoming shots.
Now let's see, which one makes more sense?
Well, I already said I ruled out Shinso
Switching
because
mags.
of how similar I feel like he's gonna play to Sero, which is also why I ruled out Aizawa. But you know what? Pop off, I guess. Sure. You can talk about Shinso all you want. Alright. That means it goes back to me for 37. I am going to make the guess.
Don't scare me.
Incoming contact. 5 enemies.
Hold on. I'm getting into an armed conflict.
Under fire. Rest easy.
If you think about it, every conflict is an armed conflict unless you're fighting somebody with no arms.
I will fight the paraplegic.
Oh, I got killed by Sean Wick using a dark matter assault rifle. He was level 594. Wonderful. Why am I getting these lobbies as a level 22?
Fight for your life.
I don't think skill-based matchmaking has decided to work yet. Anyway, my guess for my official next guess
Success means redeployment.
is
Failure means elimination.
non-existent drum roll, please.
I will not be giving you one.
Present
God fucking damn it.
because he was DLC in the last one.
You robbed me of my answer.
Fairly relevant with Mirko in that season where Mirko made her first few
Back in
appearances,
the AO.
and I feel like there's a solid case for it. Solid enough to at least make a mention of him.
You stole my
of him
fucking
maybe
answer.
being in the game. Oh, were you also going to say
Yes.
Mike? Oh, okay, so we're in agreement then.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Alright. So your next guess.
Do we
You are.
already have compress on the list?
We do not already have.
Put them on there.
But I am willing to agree with that. Alright. Our last slot. Slot 39. And it goes to me.
Or I can
ruling
challenge it.
out- I'm ruling out Gunhead because I don't think he was relevant enough.
We never saw
I'm
him
ruling
really
out
do
Death
anything.
Arms. I'm ruling out Power Loader. And Hatsume. I'm ruling out Hatsume.
Hatsume would be a funny pick though.
It would be, but she was DLC in the last one, and I don't think she was relevant enough at the point of the story they're adapting, or for the seasons they're adapting. So I don't feel like she's gonna be base roster. I feel like if she is in the next one, she's gonna be DLC, but we're not including DLC on this list.
Confirming kill.
Let's see. Who is left?
Who do we like? Who can we
Incoming
remember
shots.
being relevant in these seasons? Oh, he was
We
up
lost
there.
that one, but we'll get a W next time.
Switching backs.
I think
I do too.
that
Run away.
hear me out. Rocklock.
What?
I don't know why. I just
Overhaul has more of a
feel like
chance to
it's-
be in than Rocklock.
I'm using the same logic I used for fucking Monoma and fucking that I tried to use for Moonfish, where he has gear in 2, so I feel like that gives him a slight chance because that means we know he exists already in the story.
But that is, like, saying Moonfish having gear in One's Justice 2 will make him a playable character in All's Justice is the equivalent of saying, hey look, I bought a Rolex. I obviously live like Elon Musk. Like,
Okay, I see the problem is I see the flaws in my own logic there, but I can't think of literally anyone else that would make even an ounce of sense. Actually, no. No, I have one. Mirio.
Oh, but then that means we gotta throw Nejire and Amajiki on the list.
No, because they weren't as relevant as Mirio in those last couple seasons.
You don't remember? Do you not remember Nejire and Amajiki firing the fucking animal laser?
Okay, no, you're right. But then if we add those two in, we're going past the base roster limit of the last.
Doesn't mean we can't have more.
I suppose.
We'll throw 3 more characters in, on top of the ones we just threw in.
What do you mean 3?
Just because why not?
Okay, so then we have 1 slot left.
I meant, like, after Amajiki. And Nejire.
Oh. Okay,
We got 3 more on top of this.
okay. Alright, so then who the fuck are you throwing in there then?
I'm gonna throw my hand into the ring with a little bit. We have like the entire League of Villains on there, right?
Yes. Literally the whole league. I swear to God, don't say a skeptic because I will kill
No,
you.
I wasn't. No.
I don't think they're gonna add anyone from the Liberation Front.
Redestro, maybe.
Except for maybe Reed Destro.
You see,
I could see that actually.
my head was going a little leaning more towards Fat Gum. However,
Ooh. I feel like he wasn't relevant enough after Kirishima's arc.
I feel like Tetsu then.
Huh? Why?
I like Tetsu.
Rei Todoroki has better chances than fucking Tetsu. What do you mean? I mean, I guess if I'm throwing out Vlad King and fucking Monoma, I guess Tetsu would work. But at that point, then we have to either add in Kendo or Shiozaki as well.
Hold on, I want to take away Tetsu because I'm on the verge
Okay,
of
we're
actually
taking
having
away
an epiphany.
Tetsu then.
I'm having an epiphany. Hold on.
I'm trying to summon your epiphany. Like in the Simpsons movie.
What? Eva?
I summoned a firework outside my
I
house.
feel like I really have someone on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah?
But why am I not remembering their name? Or what they look like? But they were
Do you
really
remember
prevalent.
that quirk?
Vaguely.
Okay, give me the vague description then.
I'm gonna be dead ass, I don't exactly remember.
You know what? Fuck it, cement toss.
No.
I'm not throwing cement toss. That was not an actual guess. I am not throwing cement toss in there. Mr. Toss of the Cement. Oh my god, we have the height of everybody in Class 1A?
Ooh, that's something to think about. That's a good reference.
The height of everyone in 1A or
No.
cement toss?
No.
Mineta is 3'7".
Damn. Tiny ass man.
Shoji is 6'2". God damn, that kind of makes sense actually. Jesus Christ, Asui is 4'11".
Alright, my idea is...
Yeah.
Let me speak. My idea is maybe midnight.
I have a dream. I don't know why I said that like Barack Obama.
For the dream.
Why Midnight? She was DLC in the last game and fucking died between the events of like story-wise between the events of the last game and the next game.
Fair.
She's fucking dead, I think. That's kind of why I didn't put Twice on there. That's why I put a question mark next to Twice.
Yeah, but Twice.
I could
was
do the same
prevalent.
thing for Midnight. If you want, if you're really that dead set on Midnight, I could do the same thing for her and just put a question mark. I feel like we can look at the DLCs from the last game and use those to guess who would be in the next one. Because Hawks is a solid guess. He was DLC. Gentle Criminal was a solid guess. He was DLC. Present Mike is a solid guess. Again, he was DLC. Shinso, you guessed, again, DLC from the last one. Aoyama is confirmed, and he was DLC in the last one. So, I feel like the DLCs have a pretty solid track record. Which, if we want to do that, we would have to add in Hatsume, Tetsu, and Kendo. And Midnight. So we would have to add another 4 to our already extended roster. I mean, hey, we could literally just write down every single character to ever appear in the show. So then we're not technically wrong about anything.
That's fair.
We could do that, or we could actually keep making legitimate guesses. I don't know. I don't know, dude. I don't even remember. Oh yeah, you said Midnight. I don't
Yeah,
and then you
even trust my own
immediately
instincts.
disagreed with yourself, yeah. I mean, you know what? If you want to throw in Midnight, I'll throw in Rocklock. And they'll occupy the same space. Because I feel like Rocklock would be very interesting to play. I don't know why. I feel like he'd just be really interesting. He'd have an interesting moveset. We're not throwing Hound Dog or Ectoplasm in there either, to be clear. Oh. Do we want to make a case for Kamui Woods?
That would be interesting, and I feel like he's pretty
or
prevalent.
Ryukyu?
Ryukyu not so
Ryukyu
much.
sounds like a solid... I mean, she sounds like a solid pick, maybe. Actually, no, because her thing kind of ended after the Shie Saikai arc, and she was in the last game and not playable. Yeah, I don't know. Do we want to throw Kamui Woods in there?
I don't have a disagreement with it.
Okay, we'll throw him in there then. We still have 2 slots. I'm gonna keep firing these off. Much like my neighbors and their fireworks. I'm going to say... I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring here. And I'm going to randomly throw out the guess of the one, the only Crust. I'm just kidding.
I was about to say, you better not.
Crust is not an actual guess. Don't worry. But no, on a serious note though, no Cementos. They're not throwing Gang Orca in. But I feel like it would be very, very interesting and also a little weird if they threw in Manual
That would be interesting.
as playable. I don't think it's gonna happen, but it would be really interesting. Because I keep thinking back to the thing where Manual is watering Monoma's eyes while him and Aizawa cancel out Shigaraki's things. That's what I keep thinking back to, and I feel like that's a monumental, important thing that he did that could potentially put him on the roster. Potentially. I don't think it's not like, I'm maybe like 40% sure about this. I'm more sure of Mount Lady than I am of fucking Manual. You know what would be really funny?
What?
Slide and go.
That would be.
That would be hilarious.
I would actually lose my shit if Slot and Go was in the game.
That'd be so funny. What about Wash?
Wash would be an insane pick.
Wash would be an insane pick, yeah. Real talk though, I do kind of, I feel like Manual is an out of nowhere pick that doesn't make much sense. But the more I think about it, the more I think it makes sense. Because that was when he was the most relevant, was in those last few seasons. Was when he was the most relevant and was actually doing important things. And I feel like his combat would be interesting, even though he's not very combative, but I feel like it would be interesting to see how that would work. So you know what? Fuck it. I'm throwing Manual in this bitch.
I mean, I guess.
Alright. I have a few other contenders here that I think have better chances than Manual, honestly. I'm honestly just looking at a list of pro heroes, and the only two that stick out to me are Snipe and Ryukyu.
There's probably
'Cause
someone we're forgetting.
I don't think we're gonna get any of the Wild Wild Pussycats. I don't think we're getting any of them. We've passed their point of being relevant. In fact, same goes for Fat Gum. We've passed his point of relevance. Same thing for Death Arms and Power Loader and fucking whatever the fuck the other guy's name is that has like the same thing as them. And also Cementos. I don't think Cementos is making a fucking appearance. Also Ectoplasm. I don't think Ectoplasm is showing up. Gunhead is who I was thinking of. We are not getting Fourth Kind. That's for damn sure. We're not getting Fourth Kind.
If we get Night Eye again,
nor are we
I'm
getting
going
Majestic.
to fucking piss myself.
I don't think we're gonna get Majestic either. We're definitely not getting fucking Crust. Or Recovery Girl. Recovery Girl would be fucking crazy, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Backdraft also I don't think is gonna happen.
Who the hell's
Even though that would
Backdraft?
be the fire hose guy. Oh, that's who we're forgetting. 13. That's who we were forgetting.
You know, it would be
I
some
don't think
real.
she has very high chances, to be fully honest.
You know, would be some really good ideas for DLC.
Huh.
And this is like a pretty obvious thing, but a mix of villains from the movies and characters from Vigilantes.
Hmm. That would be kind of interesting. Because I believe the last season is coming out this year, along with the conclusion of Vigilantes.
Yeah. It's coming out, um, I think in October.
Yeah. Okay, so who's filling this last slot then? This last non-DLC slot? Because I'm out of ideas. Unless we want to randomly throw Redestro in.
I wouldn't mind.
Alright,
And other,
Redestro
yeah,
it is.
yeah, read extra.
Alright, that is our prediction roster. To review, the fully confirmed are all of 1A, which is 20 characters, 2 Shigarakis, Dabi, All for One, Toga, All Might in his little power suit. And then our predictions are Best Genist, Endeavor, Normal All Might, Edge Shot, Spinner, Lady Nagat, Gentle Criminal, Star and Stripe, a second Shigaraki, Monoma, Mirko, Vlad King, Shinso, Present Mike, Mr. Compress, Mirio, Amajiki, Nejire, Kamui Woods, Manuel, Redestro, and maybe Twice.
Yeah, that sounds like a good list.
Okay. Alright then. And we'll see how well this aged when the game comes out, I suppose. Actually, hold on. I didn't even think of this. I can Google a list and see if there's confirmed characters for the game or not.
Shigaraki's confirmed, like Awaken Shigaraki.
Well, yeah, he was in the fucking trailer. Confirmed characters. First info. Okay. Yeah, all of 1A is implemented into a game. Okay, that's all they say, is that all of 1A is in the game. Huh. Okay, yeah, the game is currently being developed alongside the production of the show's final season, and they will be able to play the game, or play a game exclusive take on the final battle distinct from the show. Experience the intense final battle with beautiful graphics. We hope to do justice to the amazing art of the source material.
I kind of
New
part of me can't-
rising system.
can't
allows
wait
you
to see-
unleash the full potential of your
I can't wait to see just all of what happens to my hero with Vigilantes, with everything.
Yeah. The development team has crafted the battle system in this game to be intuitive and accessible, ensuring that both the enthusiasts of the show and gaming aficionados can experience the thrill of accelerating Engage in intense 3v3s. Yeah, that's kind of how that works. We know that already. Fan favorite characters who played a key role in the final battle are joining. Okay. Yeah, so we don't have a confirmed roster yet, it seems like. It just says that there's for sure every member of 1A. Several. Oh, ooh. Okay, so the team has confirmed there are several more character announcements to come, including a few surprises. So we'll see. We will see. At some point. So it will adapt for the story mode. Some of the most iconic fights being Todoroki family versus Dabi, Uraraka versus Toga, Izuku versus Tomura. Obviously, all of those are going to be included.
I can't wait to see how it goes.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see. Because if they make the roster bigger, like the base roster bigger than the last game, it's definitely going to be it's going to be a Mortal Kombat Armageddon situation where there's going to be like 100 characters or something. Like it's going to be like every important character from the show or something fucking crazy. Which, I don't know, I feel like they may end up adding they're probably going to end up adding some DLC characters. But I don't know how they would go about doing that, because I feel like for the last game, the DLC characters they added kind of teased the next one. Like Hawks and Gentle Criminal and who else am I thinking? Oh yeah, Present Mike, Aoyama, Tetsu, Kendo, Shinso. Because all of them gained more relevance in around Season 5. So I feel like they were kind of using the DLC from the last game to kind of hint at what the next game is going to be. Which is why I kept going back to that for the roster predictions. Because again, I feel like Hawks and Gentle Criminal and even Present Mike are very solid picks. Since they were DLC in the last game.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Aoyama being not DLC in this one, but being DLC in the last one kind of confirms it as well. To me, at least. That it is a possibility. It is going to be very interesting, though, to see how they all play, because from what they showed in the trailer, it looks like for the majority of them, they are going to play very similarly to how they did in 2, especially in the cases of Uraraka and Bakugo, especially Bakugo. I don't know. We will see who those surprise guests are, I guess.
The future seems bright.
Yeah, it does. It sure does. It's a great time to be a fucking nerd, isn't it? We've got the JJK movie. They're making a movie for the Hidden Inventory arc. With some added scenes, I believe. From what I heard,
Season 3.
They added in some scenes. Yep, Season 3. The last season of My Hero. All's Justice. One Punch Man is getting its third season this year, I believe,
I think
as
so.
well, from what I've heard. And if I'm remembering correctly, One Piece should be wrapping up next year, I think, or late this year, something like that, because I think they're...
They say that, but that was supposed...
I
Technically, the show
yeah,
was supposed
I
to end
think-
like 20 years ago.
But also, I think the manga ended, and they're... I believe either the end of this year or next year, they're adapting the final arc of the show.
The
not
manga
the show,
did
the
not end. I don't
manga.
know what you're on about.
Did it not?
It did not end.
Oh, shit, hold on. Are you right about that? I think you're right about that, actually. Hold on. Okay, yeah, no, you're correct about that.
Ichiro
Oh my
is
god.
still going on.
Estimated that it will conclude around 2030.
It's still going.
Jesus Christ. Good lord. Okay, yeah, never mind. I was completely incorrect. Also, the first thing, if you type in "is One Piece," the first thing that comes up is
the One Piece real?
Yeah. It's literally, if I type in "is One Piece," it's "is One Piece ending soon? Is One Piece Red canon? Coming to Fortnite, on break, back, almost over, worth watching, still going, on break this week." Yeah. Oh wait, sorry, no, it's if I type in "is the One Piece." If I type in "is the One Piece," the first thing that pops up is real,
Oh, they're gonna give you some answer like, Whitebeard said
which
so.
is funny. You know what? I'm curious. We're gonna do that. Is the One Piece real? The One Piece is indeed real.
As confirmed by Whitebeard.
Yeah. It says, in the world of the manga and anime One Piece, the quote-unquote One Piece is indeed a real physical treasure that exists as a goal for the characters to find. Thanks. Thanks, Google AI Overview. I appreciate it. I love it when Google AI Overview spreads false information but gives me correct information. It's wonderful. I don't personally spread misinformation. I simply lie to people. It's called gaslighting. I call it gaslighting. You were supposed to say
Oh, okay.
the funny. Are you gonna what I but Okay, I'm confused now. What do you have any talking points
No.
to go? Okay. All right then. I get to nerd out then about F1.
No.
Yes. Tomorrow is the British Grand Prix at
End it already,
Silverstone.
please.
The Austrian Grand Prix was last weekend and ended with a P1 for Lando Norris and a P2 for Oscar Piastri, meaning both McLaren drivers are in their top two pole positions, and my favorite driver, my homeboy, my I'm not gonna continue saying words. Charles Leclerc in third with a P4 for
Please,
Hamilton.
just
So
let it
both
end.
Ferraris also getting top 5, and Russell for Mercedes following shortly in 5th with a DNF for Albon, Verstappen, Antonelli,
Just
and
end,
Sainz.
please.
Because, fun fact, both
No.
of the Williams cars caught on fire.
Shut the fuck
Their engines
up.
caught on fire,
Shut the
and
fuck up.
Antonelli crashed into
Shut the
Verstappen.
fuck up. I am so not interested.
I know, it's really funny though to
Oh my god.
anytime I bring up F1, you
I will- I-
trigger something in your brain.
I am gonna crash
It's
out.
really funny. Ooh, qualifying already happened at Silverstone.
I'm gone. You cannot convince
Alright.
me to stick around for this.
Alright, I'll stop talking about fucking F1. Jesus. Alright, you do the fucking... You know what? Since you're so eager to get this over with, you do the fucking outro again.
Okay.
You
Alright.
loser.
Okay. Bye.
That's the... Really, that's where you're... You ended the last one on "the world isn't real," and now you're just a simple bye.
I started it on a high, I ended on a bye.
Alright. End your life.
Okay.
Right now. That was terrible.
Is it over?
I-
Oh, no.
Um,
Okay.